Well, hello there. Welcome into Warriors Wrap Up. Sam Blubman will be with you here tonight as we talk about a great little Warrior win here. 125-112 is your final as the Warriors improve to 6-1 here on this young season. And Steph Curry's return to action. Missed only 3 games, but it always feels a lot longer whenever Steph is out. But great to see him back on the court tonight, and be great to hear from Dub Nation tonight. I'm really curious, what are Warriors fans thinking of how Steph looked in his return to action tonight? Again, it's 3-game absence. He comes back and a little bit of a slow start from there, but did finish with 24 points on the night to lead the Warriors in scoring. Draymond Green chipping in 18 points himself. Love to see the offensive production from Draymond Green. Warriors always seem to do well whenever he seems to score a lot of points. You know, that's kind of a no-duh thing to say. But whenever Draymond Green scores 15 or more in a game, this is including the playoffs, Warriors are 136-30. When Draymond puts at least 15 points up on the scoreboard. Hit 3 threes tonight, too. Draymond Green, not known for three-point shooting, but when he does let them loose, he can sink those bad boys. Hit 3 of them tonight. Warriors are 54-7 when he hits at least 3 threes in a game. 137-29 when he gets multiple threes in a game. So love to see that the offensive dynamic there from Draymond Green tonight on top of the defense as well. TJD, Trace Jackson Davis, he also got the start tonight at the center spot in just under 24 minutes, went 6 of 11, 12 points there, added 6 rebounds. And right off the bat early on, you know, Steph in his return really was clicking with TJD. You saw Steph feeding TJD early. A couple of his first quarter buckets were there from Steph Curry. And overall, very good win for the Warriors. Not a good win, maybe not a win that you'll put on the refrigerator, but a good win nonetheless. I mean, all wins in the NBA are important. There's no such thing as an unimportant win. But this was a good win because, again, Warriors are 6-1. They are, I believe, 3-0 now on this road trip here. Very important road trip 2-0 on this road trip. They still got 3 more games left. And these next 3 games, they are big ones. On Wednesday night, they will be in Boston on the parquet floor, taking on the world champs. After that, you take on the 8-0 Cleveland Cavaliers in Quicken Loans Arena. See if that locker room still smells like popcorn. My guess is after 8 years, 7 years? I don't know. It's been a while. They've probably gotten the smell out since then. And then, of course, finishing up against OKC this weekend against the Thunder. We'll look ahead to that later on, but I do want to hear from the Warrior fans tonight. 888-957-9570. Your thoughts on Steph Curry's return to action. Your thoughts on the way Draymond Green played tonight. Thoughts on anybody. And you know what? We all saw Jordan Poole tonight. I always like seeing Jordan Poole. I've always been a fan of Jordan Poole. It was very unfortunate just how things had to play out for Jordan Poole here with the Warriors. But see him in Washington, I kind of wish he was in a better situation, but it is what it is with him there. He goes for 24 points as well, though, on a not super efficient 8 of 20 shooting, 2 of 10 from 3. And those are kind of the numbers we kind of got accustomed to seeing from Jordan Poole towards the end of his Warriors tenure. Just a lot of points, but just a lot of inefficiency. Not a lot of defense, and honestly, I mean, there were some moments here or there, had a little poke job here and there, but overall, kind of a quiet, as quiet of a night as you can have for Jordan Poole, despite leading the team in offense. But that's just kind of where the Wizards are at right now. A lot of this Warriors win, it was a good win. Again, not one to put on the refrigerator, but a good win, an important win that you need, considering where these next 3 games are at. But how much of this was simply the Warriors playing well versus the fact that the Wizards just aren't a very good team? They were not a good team last year. This is a young team. This was the youngest team the youngest starting 5 that the Washington Wizards have ever started in their franchise's history. Of all nights, this is when they did it. They had 3 rookies starting for them tonight. They had 1 second-year player, and then they had Jordan Poole in his 6th season at the age of 25 was the grizzled vet out there. This is the lineup. Bilal Koulibaly, one of the second-year player. Keyshawn George, Miami Hurricanes legend, one of the rookies. Alex Starr, one of the rookies. And Bub Carrington, another one of the rookies. 3 rookies in that starting lineup. And early on, it definitely looked like a team with 3 rookies in that starting lineup there. So let's just kind of recap just kind of how this game went. Again, love to hear from Warrior fans here. 888-957-9570. Give me your thoughts on this game. Give me your thoughts on Stephen Curry's return. What stood out to you? What did you like about this win? What do you like about this Warriors team overall right now here on Warriors Wrap-Up? Sam Lubman joining you. First time I'm doing Warriors Wrap-Up as Mark Randy is on assignment. Evan Giddings is on assignment. So that scraping you hear is the bottom of the barrel being scraped as they called me in to handle the Warriors Wrap-Up here tonight. So we'll love to hear from the Warrior fans, but let's kind of take it back to this game. And Steph Curry, right off the bat, hits a 3 to get the Warriors scoring started. And whenever Steph returns, and he was on a minutes restriction tonight, ended up playing just about 24 minutes tonight, which I believe that was probably what the Warriors coaching staff was aiming for. Played the first about 5 minutes of that first quarter there, 5:31 if you want exact there. He hit that 3 to start, one of 2 shots he took in the first quarter, and that was it. That was it for the scoring for Steph in that first quarter there, and which is to be expected. You see every year we go through this, where every year Steph goes down for some sort of injury. Maybe it's the ankle injury, maybe it's the interosseous membrane, as we all learned about last year. Or sorry, that might have been 2 years ago when we learned about that one. And so we're used to what Steph looks like when he returns, and sometimes there's some rust that has to be shaken off there. And, maybe it takes him a game to get reacclimated. Maybe it takes him a half. It took him, I would say about a half to get things going. 3 points in that first quarter, 5 in the second quarter, so 8 points in that first half. And then he really just started going off. Drops 15 in the third quarter, 5 of 7 shooting in that third quarter, 2 of 3 from 3. And, noticing here when I look at Steph Curry's overall numbers, 4 of 9 from 3. He wasn't, he wasn't totally letting it fly from 3. I mean, yeah, he had some, those classic Steph deep balls there that we all love from near the logo. But overall in the third quarter, Steph realizing that the 3-point shot wasn't really there right now. So what do great players do when things do not go well, do not go their way, do not go as they are kind of hoping for things to go? They adjust. Steph is one of the best in the game at adjusting. We've 16 years of evidence to prove that. And that's what he did in the third quarter. He adjusted and realized, you know what? If that outside shot isn't really there right now, let's take things inside. And Steph started doing a lot of damage in the paint there in that third quarter. Also, again, dishing the ball out too. He finishes the night with 6 assists in his return. The Warriors 29 assists overall, so one shy of that magic number that they always like to go for, which is obviously 30 assists. That's always been their magic number. But a lot of other things to like here. Limiting the turnovers, that was really good. 7 turnovers on the night for the Warriors. Led to 13 Washington Wizards points. Wizards turned the ball over 10 times. That led to 20 Warriors points. So, and again, this was just words I've heard, clunky, ugly, whatever. A good win, a needed win. Warriors are 6-1. Warriors got off to a great start last year too, but it feels different this year. I do want to put a pin in that thought because I want to get back to why this feels different this year, why we're feeling better about this team this year. But let's kind of recap this game a little bit. I think I said that a couple times already, but I'm actually going to do it now because, as I said, Steph started off the night with a 3 and saw a bit of a different lineup tonight. Steph was in the lineup starting, obviously, with GP2, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Trace Jackson Davis. And they got off to a quick 13-6 start, +7 in starting lineups. We always like to make a big deal over who is starting. Guys do like to start. Guys like hearing their names called in those pregame introductions. There is just something about having, when you look at your stat sheet, you got games played and you got games started. There's just something about your games played and games started number being the same thing that players really like. I understand it. Being a starter, it's a sexy thing. That's what we all think about, because if you're a starter, it's expected that you are good. But that is not quite the case with this year's Warriors team because of the depth that we saw. And we saw today with the Warriors, playing, as I do a quick count here with my eyes, playing 14 guys tonight. Guy Santos with, maybe 13 guys, because Guy Santos only got 30 seconds and did absolutely nothing with those 30 seconds. You only do so much in that time. Pat Spencer even got a little bit of a cameo in this one, 13 minutes worth of a cameo, as well as the Warriors showcased their depth. But Warriors got off to a pretty solid start, and Steph connecting with TJD early, feeding him early on. Love seeing the second-year kid cooking underneath the rim there, seeing his development here in year 2. And you saw it on display tonight in that first quarter. It's great the presence he is having down there. He is clearly feeling very confident running with that first unit, which first unit had some issues at the start of this year, so to speak, which is why I think a lot of people kind of focus on the starters, because it's not so much who is starting, it's so much the results that the starters are getting. And you've seen it a lot. Starters will get off to kind of a slow start, and then the depth kind of comes in. Bench guys come in, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and co., and they kind of turn things around. That was not the case tonight, though. So the Warriors get off that 13-6 start, and then towards the end, you really started seeing Jonathan Kuminga start to wake up. He was coming off the bench, and I'm kind of curious. So I've got curious where people are at with Jonathan Kuminga and his role right now. With Steph coming back, I think there was some question as, what do you do with JK? Is this a time where maybe you switch him up, put him back in the starting lineup? And I imagine there was not a long conversation for the Warriors, because whether you want Kuminga to start or not, it's working coming off the bench. And he is feeling more confident. He is looking more aggressive on the court, on both ends of the court. He's driving when he needs to. He's getting aggressive on defense. He's not afraid to let the shot go. And you start seeing him and Kevon Looney as well towards the end of that first quarter. Those are some two big boys to have down low, gobbling up those rebounds, which is why the Warriors are one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the NBA right now. I believe they're second in offensive rebounds. Maybe there's someone, if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me on that. If you want to correct me, 888-957-9570. Feel free to call in, or you can also text 888-957-9570. That is the text line to call in. So want to hear from you guys. Want to hear from everyone in Dub Nation tonight, if you can. But that JK and Kevon Looney wreaking havoc underneath the boards. That is why we call Kevon Looney Windex, because he is cleaning the boards. Shout out to Schleprock for that nickname, one of the better nicknames that our Warriors fans have come up with here. And so very good start for the Warriors in the first quarter. They ended that quarter up 29-20. Buddy Hield getting 8 points off the bench, and he started out pretty cold. A couple missed threes there in the early parts of his time in the first, but he hit a pair of threes at the end of that first quarter, and that's when you knew, the Buddy Hield heat check, baby. It is starting to happen. That is why he is the Splash Buddy. And he got it going there towards the end. I think I'm the only person who likes the Splash Buddy nickname, but I'm absolutely going to roll with it there. And then, of course, the Wizards, it was a lot of Jordan Poole and a lot of who else is there going to be, because Jordan Poole, without Kyle Kuzma, he did not have Marvin Bagley II, who is out with a non-COVID illness, a general illness, I think, as we call it. Patrick Baldwin Jr. was also a DNP tonight for the Wizards. And I believe... who said it better than the 707? That's Skills, actually, out of the 707. Who knew PBJ was still in the NBA? Yeah, I'll be honest, Skills, I did not know that one either. But we didn't see him tonight. He was a DNP coach's decision. So Jordan Poole, with not many of his assistants there to help him out, did have Jonas Valanciunas coming off the bench. Valanciunas is a guy who I always remember that play-in game at the end of the 2021 season where they faced the who are they called? The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies in that play-in game. And Valanciunas just abused the Warriors in that game. And since then, I have never been a fan of Jonas Valanciunas. Very glad that he is on the Wizards, a team that is so far off the NBA radar that we only have to deal with them 2 times a year. And even then, he's not really that effective anymore. Valanciunas, again, 21 minutes off the bench, was a -2, did get 16 points and 12 rebounds, so as well as 7 assists. So he was contributing. He was absolutely contributing there on the floor tonight. Heading into the second quarter, though, again, Steph sat out the second half of the first quarter and the first half of the second quarter. So you start to see a lot of these bench guys really starting to cook here. And that's where you saw Buddy Hield start to really kind of contribute. But in that second quarter, you got 4 points from Kuminga. 4 points from Kuminga. You really started to see him grab more rebounds there. 4 rebounds in the second period as well. Moses Moody came in. He started putting in some work there as well. Because, again, Steph Curry on a minutes restriction per Anthony Slater. He was spending a lot of time in the tunnel early on this game, stretching, warming up, trying to keep that ankle loose. Again, it's the first game back. It's a game against a team that you really should be able to take care of business against, with or without Steph. Full disclosure, I was kind of surprised that Steph played this game. I thought that the Warriors would maybe wait a little bit longer because, again, this is your most important player. You do not want to rush him back before that ankle is ready to go. We know the history that Steph has with that ankle. And so the fact that the Warriors had him play tonight, I was I guess pleasantly shocked, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, as they like to say. I thought, hey, maybe rest him tonight, beat this team that you should be able to beat without Steph, especially the way these guys are playing without Steph and Curry. And then you either break him back for, the big 3 coming up here at the end of this road trip, or maybe you just wait, a little bit longer because I don't know what the Warriors' decision-making was in terms of whether or not for him to wait. But the fact of the matter is Steph was back tonight, despite the fact that I did not think he would be back. And I am very happy that I was wrong in that regard. And then so as we keep looking at that second quarter there, you really started to see the gravity effect with Steph there. Even when he's not scoring, guys are surrounding him because he is that threat. Even if he's cold from the field, you have to honor the fact that at any second, Stephen Curry can go nuclear and benefit literally anybody who is on the court with him. Jonathan Kuminga was the big beneficiary in that second quarter. And both ends of the floor with JK. He had 5 rebounds in that first half, attacking in the paint. And then moment I really liked towards the end of that second quarter. I know Cam saw this. Cam Williams pressing all the buttons tonight, Warriors Network coordinator. He had a 3 towards the end of that second quarter in the corner. Turns around, points at the bench, looks at the crowd. He's feeling it. He's feeling that swagger. That's the JK that I want to see there. Warriors outshot the Wizards 54-43 in the first half. That is why the Warriors were able to end the first half up 54-45, despite only shooting 40% from the field. Warriors were 25% from 3 in the first half, 5 of 20, but the Wizards 3 of 20 from 3 in that first half. And the Warriors had the lead. So we are going to keep reviewing this game. I want to take a quick break here. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr on the other side. We're going to hear from Dub Nation, hopefully, on the other side. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll finish recapping this game. We recap the first half here, recap the second half, recap some other performances that we liked off the bench. We got our crashing the boards guy of the night. Who's that going to be? You'll want to hear that on the other side. And there is a non-zero chance that we could have a special guest joining us in the second half. I don't know. I'm going to have to shoot some texts out and wait for one of the shows that are currently on TV to end here. So hint, hint. So we'll see if we can make that happen. It's Sam Lubman here on Warriors Wrap Up. When we come back, your calls, we'll hear from Steve Kerr. We might hear from Steph. But again, most importantly, got to hear from you guys. We will see you on the other side. It is Warriors Wrap Up on 95.7 The Game.
Now back to Warriors Wrap Up on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, tremendous. You love to see it. Those tic-tac-toe plays, Steph to Dre and the Kuminga slam. Oh, it's beautiful, right, Cam? Oh, it's awesome. We love seeing it. One of the many great moments in this pretty good win for the Warriors tonight. Warriors topping the Washington Wizards in the nation's capital. 125-112 is your final score. Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench there. 15 points on 7 of 15 shooting, had 6 rebounds, couple of assists. And really, I think you're seeing Jonathan Kuminga really reward Steve Kerr for kind of putting more faith in him, putting him in more situations where he can showcase the talents that he has. I'll be honest, I am a Jonathan Kuminga truther. I am a believer in the potential. I see him as a guy who should be a focal point of the Warriors' future. I am on team do not trade JK. I want to see it pan out. I believe it can pan out. That doesn't mean it will, obviously. I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong about something. Might be maybe the fifth time I've been wrong about something. But, I want to see this from Jonathan Kuminga. He's 22 years old. He's in his 4th year, and he has been on a hell of a stretch for the Warriors, starting ever since the benched graphic that Shams Charania tweeted out last Tuesday night before the Warriors hosted the Pelicans. And he's been on a roll coming off the bench. We had Ron Adams on the Morning Roast this morning, and he had some incredible praise for Jonathan Kuminga. In fact, I'm going to play that right now, and then we're going to continue kind of going on with the rest of the show here. Here's what Ron Adams said earlier this morning about Jonathan Kuminga, and you got to hear what he had to say, because it was some incredibly high praise, some of the highest praise I think this organization has given to JK in a calendar year. The calendar year of 2024 has been very up and down for Kuminga. And to hear him get this kind of praise from Ron Adams was pretty eye-opening and really cool to hear.
He scored meaningful points down the stretch, but I think more than that, and I told him this, I thought it was his best game ever as a Warrior. And I say that because I thought he played every possession locked in with great effort. And I'm talking both sides of the ball. And this is what he's capable of doing. I think sometimes, let me just back up a little bit. Several seasons ago when he was having trouble scoring, figuring out the scoring part of it, he was really playing some good defense for us. If you remember, we were putting him on, in some cases, in any given game, the best player on the other squad. And he was responding well. His energy was good. Then he started scoring, and with a lot of younger players in the league, they forget about defense a little bit. And now we're back and approaching a really good balance. And if he can continue to do this,
so I'll cut that off a little bit earlier, because the important point that I want to reiterate there is that Ron Adams saying that Saturday night was one of Jonathan Kuminga's best nights ever. No, it wasn't one of. It was the best night he's ever had as a Warrior. And that was a night where, he took over in that overtime period. And that was a big reason why the Warriors were able to beat the Rockets. And he was a big reason why the Warriors were able to top the Wizards tonight. Again, 125-112 is the final. So, again, we're recapping this game here, going into the second half here. And right off the bat to start the third, first thing I noticed, Steph Curry wasn't on the court. What's going on there? And again, per Anthony Slater, working out in the tunnel, keeping that ankle loose. Steph did not check in until about halfway through that third quarter and immediately connected with immediately connected with Draymond and Kuminga there on that slam that we played on the rejoin there. And from there, Warriors just kept cooking there. You saw the Steph gravity effect really kind of take over. There was one moment about 5:20 left in that third quarter where I thought you really just saw the Steph gravity effect taking effect. You had Steph and Dre at the top of the key, did a quick give and go. Draymond did a quick give and go to Steph, and then immediately he gets triple teamed. And that left Gary Payton II wide open on the lane for the slam. And again, Steph, the shot was falling tonight, but again, this is what makes Steph so incredible with or without the ball. He is always a threat one way or another. Either he's scoring the points or he's setting up someone else to score the points. Continuing on, a very fun moment towards the end of the third there. Steph had a big three over our friend Jordan Poole. Draymond gave him a little point, being like, you can't guard that guy. For as much as we love Jordan Poole, defense was never really the thing that we ever talked about there. And then, again, Steph was putting on quite the show in that third quarter. Put Johnny Davis, a second-year player, in the blender at the end of the third, hit the big three. Warriors won that quarter 39-36, leading 93-81 overall there. And then, again, fourth quarter, Steph coming off the bench. Wizards starting to get a little bit physical there. The Wizards are a young team. They are a fast team. They are a team that plays a lot of energy. And more important, they're not a good team, so they really don't have a lot to lose. You know, they could sell out on any night. And they were not afraid to do that. And so the Warriors, they kind of started to buckle down, get a little bit physical themselves towards the end. You saw the bench players start to come in. You saw Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, not a shooter. No, he is not. That is not why the Warriors brought him in. But you saw why they did in that fourth quarter. He used that length that he has, and there was one moment about 3.5 minutes into that fourth quarter there, had a swat on Keyshawn George, my Canes legend, and got the loose ball foul on top of that, combining ball and foul there into a non-word. Got the swat there, and again, it's just moments like that where, again, he doesn't need to score when you're playing that kind of defense, or you're playing that aggressive defense that he is able to play. Warriors bench broke the 50 mark for the sixth time in 7 games during the fourth quarter. And then, of course, like I said, we all like to make a big deal about who starts. I come from the school of it's about who finishes. Shout out Bonte Hill on that one. And the finishing line with about 5 minutes left: Steph, Dre, Buddy Hield, Trace Jackson Davis, and Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo eventually came out for GP2. And then the Warriors decided to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stingier on defense. You had Slow-Mo and Loon in at the end. TJD came out for that final minute and a half as the Warriors, I'm not going to say there was a comeback attempt, but the Wizards were within spitting distance towards the end there. It was about a 10-point game there, a couple minutes left. And in the NBA these days, a 10-point lead with a couple minutes left is not the cushion that it used to be when you consider how effective guys are at shooting from three, even though the Wizards were shooting 23% from three-point range on the night. Guys can get hot at any time. You kind of started to see it in that third quarter when Keyshawn George started to heat up a little bit. George in that third quarter, in the fourth quarter, Keyshawn George started to heat up there. 4 of 8 from three, 14 points in that fourth quarter. He did what he tried to do he tried to do as much as he could to get the Wizards back into this game. Was not enough, though, because no one else was really scoring there. He scored 14 of the Wizards' 31 fourth quarter points. You did get 6 from Valanciunas in that final period. Overall, though, the Warriors were able to hold on a wire-to-wire win as well on the road over this young, scrappy Washington Wizards team. So these are a lot of my thoughts on that game. Again, the big story tonight, Steph is back, baby. Back a lot sooner than I anticipated he would be back. I'm glad that he's back sooner than I anticipated he would be back. Warriors go 3-0 without Steph Curry this time around. Hopefully those are the only 3 games that Steph misses due to injury this year, though history would suggest, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Doomsday here, but we've been through this a lot, Warrior fans, over the last 16 years. We know how this works. He's probably going to miss some more games at some point. He's, 36 years old. I've learned in my year or two in my 30s that once that 3 leads off your age, the body acts a little bit different. And I have nowhere near as many mileages on my body as Steph has on his. So chances are these will not be the only 3. These will not be the only games Steph misses. The hope is that these are the only 3 games that Steph misses. But I think what we've learned over this last week is that this is a team that when they need to, they could buckle down and get these wins without Steph. Now, again, they're 6-1 this year. They got to a 6-1 start last year. Why does this 6-1 start feel different than last year? And I think there's a few reasons why. Again, I think the vibes for this team are at an all-time high. Guys feel fresh. They feel renewed. I think, which is a good thing. Not blaming it on anybody. But we saw in the preseason, guys were very, very happy. Guys were feeling it. And that has continued here into the regular season. I don't know if we remember the word that was used a lot whenever, back in the day when the Warriors were the dynasty, when they had KD here, when Iggy was here, when Livingston, all those guys, Mo Spates, David West, all of them. The word was joy. You saw a lot of joy on the court back in those days. I mean, how could you not? You had Steph, Clay, Dre, and KD on the court. You're going to be pretty joyous if those four guys are on the court together. I know I was pretty joyous watching that. But you are seeing that joy again. These guys are having fun. They're loose. They're happy. They're smiling. And last year, I mean, again, a 6-1 start, it was good, but it didn't have this joyous exuberance that I think we're seeing early on here to start this season. And again, I know what a lot of people are thinking, so I'm going to say the quiet part out loud because I know we're all thinking it. You're thinking about Klay Thompson right now. That's fine. But I do believe that, yeah, the strain of Klay Thompson's future did kind of hang over this team a lot last year. The where's he going to go, the how's it going to happen, the what's it going to look like, who's going to say the what, and whether it should be a distraction or not, those things are distractions. You saw it in the 2018-19 season with Kevin Durant's contract situation, where there's this will he, won't he? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? You got to let me know. Was he going to stay or is he going to go? And it hung over the team. Now, that team was talented enough to where it didn't really matter. Last year's team, less so. So that's kind of why I feel like the big difference is with this team. It's just, now I'm not saying that Klay Thompson being gone makes the Warriors better. That's not at all what I'm saying. It's just that when you don't, if Klay came back this year and there was no contract drama, is it a different situation? The world will never know. We do not exist in that multiverse timeline. So we will not be able to know that. But just right off the bat, that's what I'm seeing. Guys are loose. Guys are happy. And we'll see how long it lasts. A lot of what I'm hearing from Warrior fans is let's see them lose a little bit. And then we'll see how good we're feeling. And listen, I know you could look at this 6-1 record and there's a lot to love about it. If you're trying to figure out what is not to love about the Warriors so far, I don't think there's much. If I were to pick one thing, it's that if you look at the teams that the Warriors have beaten, none of them made the playoffs last year. None of them are world beaters. It is not a murderer's row of victims lying in the Warriors' wake so far to start this year. The one playoff team they played was the Clippers, and they lost that one. But you can only play the schedule that is played out before you. And, you know, these teams that the Warriors are beating, they are professional basketball players. They are paid to do this. They are paid to score buckets. They are paid to prevent other teams from getting buckets. And you got to stack these wins now while you can. Warriors are 6-1 right now. And, you know, a couple things change here and there. Records could be a little bit different. They could be 6-1. They could be 4-3 or something other. And they would be looking at these next three games very differently. But you're 6-1 right now, and you have a massive cushion to work with here. And so going into these next three games, Boston will be very, very tough. Jason Tatum was saying a while ago, I forget where he said it. I'm sure I'll be pulling that sound the next day or two. But he was talking about how losing to the Warriors in the 2022 NBA Finals was a good thing for them because it showed them that they weren't there yet and how far they needed to go. And then they were embarrassed by the Heat the next year, the 1 seed losing to the 8 seed. And credit to the Celtics. They have grown. They have gotten smarter. They have gotten better. They're a very dangerous team. They are the best team in the NBA right now. Unless you're, a fan of the undefeated team in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, Warriors see them on Friday night. And then after that, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that is almost perfectly constructed to give the Warriors fits. They are a young team. They are a very long team. and 3, a very athletic team. That is a trifecta of problems that the Warriors are going to have to deal with. All right, so we got about maybe 10 minutes left in this show here. I'm kind of curious. I know Cam's curious. What did Steve Kerr have to say about this game? Well, you're going to hear from Coach right here for the next couple minutes. Steve Kerr, tell us. You going to play it, Cam, or you want me to play it? All right, I think Cam's going to play it. Steve Kerr on talk about this Warriors win. Well, that's good to know. Won't be a big minutes restriction for Stephen Curry in Boston. A couple highlights there from Steve Kerr. Again, that was Steve Kerr there talking to the media post-game. High praise for the youth of this Washington Wizards team, praising the coaching there. So Steve, always going to be a guy to give props where the props is due. Some I haven't mentioned yet, that is Brandon Pajemski. He did have to leave the game midway through, I believe it was the third quarter, again, due to illness. Hopefully it's just general illness and nothing more serious there. Again, didn't seem like nothing else is bothering them. It's just not feeling well. Again, Brandon Pajemski dude's a gamer. Like, that guy is so much effort. If he's not feeling well that he needs to come out, that's probably something to keep an eye on. But hopefully it's just a little bug. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully he will be back on the court Wednesday night against the Celtics. And then, of course, right there at the end, Stephen Curry looked great tonight, was feeling good. They kept him to 24 minutes. As far as a minutes restriction going forward, Steve Kerr does not anticipate as much of a restriction. So I don't know, maybe we'll see him play close to 30 minutes on Wednesday night on the parquet floor in Boston. So I do really quick before we wrap up this show here, I want to do two things. One, we got to do Crash the Boards. So Cam, if we can get some sort of rebound from Draymond Green ready to go there, we can play that. Do we have that ready? All right. Just wave your arms at me frantically when you have it ready. In the meantime, though, I'm going to do the second thing first then, and that is going to be going to Eric in Millbrae, if we want to get him on there. He wants to talk about this Warriors win. Eric, how you feeling about this Warriors win right now or tonight?
So far, like what I'm seeing, Buddy Hield's fitting in much better than anybody I thought, any Warrior fan thought. He's been fantastic so far. Mm-hmm. Really playing lights out, and I hope that really continues with him. I just really like the way the team is very low, and the competition so far hasn't been great. But remember, last year they lost a lot of these games to these subpar teams where teams they should beat and they come out lose. So these these are the wins they got to bank because the West is going to be tough.
Oh, absolutely.
So when the schedule really ratchets it up, you really got some leeway too. So if you're the Warriors, you can't worry about the competition because you were losing to these teams last year. That's why you ended up not making the playoffs because you needed to be in the playing game to beat Sacramento. If you win these games against beatable teams, they probably would have been a top 5 seed. So handle your business, which they are so far. Love the Curry's back. That's going to be huge. I can't wait to see Wednesday against the defending champs in Boston. It's going to be a huge test. And so, and finally, JK, this guy thinks he's a max player. He's the one guy I got to see, and he's got to show to the Warriors franchise and to fans that he deserves that max money. So I want to see this guy go out in there and ball. He's got to show a two-way if he expects to be paid like one. Otherwise, I don't know if you probably can move on from him. So he's playing for a huge contract, and I expect him to ball out like he is all season. And Wiggins, too, he's got to really redeem himself for the last whatever was going on with him. He's been so hit up and down. So those are the two X factors for the Warriors. If they are, I think they're a top 5 seed. So hopefully this continues, and so far so good. And I can't wait for Boston on Wednesday night. It's going to be a huge set. Thanks for the time.
Awesome, Eric. Great to hear from you. I'm curious, Eric, if you're still up. No, we lost him. All right. Well, hey, you know what? That was really good stuff there from Eric. And honestly, I think he's probably feeling the way a lot of Warriors to unlock the potential. It's not a guarantee, but I do believe that if he can unlock all the skills that he is capable of doing, he could be a very, very special player. Will he get that max? I would love to see that happen because that means he's playing on that level. But we'll see. We will see where that goes there. So before we wrap up the show here, first things first, do we have Crash the Boards ready? And we're going to play that right now. Are we playing it now? Nope, we're not playing it right now. Well, we are going to play Crash the Boards. It's brought to you by Chilton Auto Body, the Bay Area leader in collision repair. Draymond Green is our board crasher of the night. He led the Warriors in rebounds with 8, 7 on the defensive side, 1 on the offensive side to go along with his 18 points and 5 assists. That is your Crashing the Boards guy of the night. Again, brought to you by Chilton Auto Body, the Bay Area leader in collision repair. That's definitely how that's supposed to go. Really quick here, we got about 4 minutes here before we clock out for the night. Let's take a quick look around the rest of the association. If you will, Bucks falling to the Cavs. Again, Cavs still undefeated now, 8-0. They Bucks fall 116-114 to Cleveland. Dame Lillard drops 36. Darius Garland leading Cleveland with 39 there. The Detroit Pistons topping the LA Lakers. Oh, the fighting Bronny Jameses can't get it done. Pistons 115-103 there, despite 37 from Anthony Davis. The Celtics get not falling into the Atlanta Hawks trap ahead of this game against the Warriors. They beat Atlanta 123-93. Jason Tatum leading the way with 28 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. The Brooklyn Nets on top of the Memphis Grizzlies, 106-104. And looks like Cam Johnson there getting 20 points there. How about Zach Edey, the rookie? 25 points, 12 rebounds there for Memphis. The Sacramento Kings were in Miami. I was just in Miami this weekend, actually. They were in Miami tonight taking on the Heat. They beat them 111-110. DeMar DeRozan leading the way there for the Kings, 26 points, 6 assists. Tyler Hero, 27 points for the Heat. The Utah Jazz on top of the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. The Jazz's first win of the year. Hey, welcome to the win column, Utah. 135-126 was the final of that one. How did our boy Lauri Markkanen do in that one? I know we're all curious on that one, the Lowry watch. And the answer is he did not play. So that is how that one went there. There are some games still in action because the Warriors were on the East Coast, which means they play earlier, which means there are other teams playing later. Currently in action right now, we are in the final 30 seconds in Houston. Rockets have a 10-point lead over the Knicks. Alperen Sengun leading, put that in the mispronunciation of the year list. He is leading the scoring for Houston at 25 points. 9 minutes left in Minnesota, where the Timberwolves are up 96-71. Over in OKC, the Thunder also undefeated. They are closing in on their 7th win to open up the year. They are up 84-58 on the Magic here at the end of the third. So pending an absolute collapse, the Thunder will be 7-0 at the end of the night. In New Orleans, the Pelicans held a narrow lead over the Trailblazers, 66-63. Brandon Ingram with 18 for the Pelicans. DeAndre Ayton leading the Blazers with 14 points. In Dallas, it is halftime. The Pacers and the Mavericks. Pacers were up 63-59. In that one, Luka, 19 points for the Mavs. Miles Turner, 15 points for the Pacers. In Denver, they are about a minute 20 till the half right now against the Raptors. Raptors leading the Nuggets 59-57 there. Jokic, only 8 points. Grady Dick, 16 points to lead the Raptors so far. In Phoenix, the Valley of the Sun, you got the Sixers and the Suns doing battle. Suns up 49-48 in that one. Bradley Beal with 12 points so far for the Suns. And finally, holy smokes, talk about a bad start. The Spurs are in LA taking on the Clippers at the Intuit Dome, and the Spurs dropping a hammer on the Clippers in that first quarter, 40-14. That is a quarter you will want to forget. You got Chris Paul there with 7 points in that one. Victor Wembanyama only 2 points there, and 40 points, and no one's in double digits. Everybody is scoring for the Spurs tonight. So that is just getting started now in the second quarter there. We're looking ahead again. Warriors Wednesday night, they will be in Boston. Then they will be in Cleveland on Friday night, and then OKC this weekend. So we're going to wrap things up here. Warriors win 125-112. No game tomorrow, because no game anywhere in the NBA tomorrow, because we have a job to do tomorrow, people. We got to vote. It's election day. So take the time. There's no NBA action tomorrow. Get out there and vote if you have not already. Not sure where to vote? You can find that on Google. If you got a ballot that you got to drop off, you can either drop it off at your polling location, drop it off in a mailbox, or in a secure ballot drop box. Again, all the information's on Google on where to find these things. Just make sure you get your vote in, because tomorrow's the day to do that if you have not done so already. After you vote, don't turn your TV on. Do something else. Anyway, that is it here for Warriors wrap up, talking about the 6-1 Warriors topping the Wizards 125-112. Steph Curry is back. Draymond Green is scoring, and the bench is as deep as ever. I want to give a shout out to Cam Williams. He was pressing all the buttons tonight. Steven Risotto, he was cutting up a bunch of the sound that you heard tonight. I am Sam Lubman. This has been Warriors wrap up. Catch us again Wednesday. I believe it's a 4 o'clock tip. No, is it a 4 or 4:30 tip? Probably a 4 o'clock tip. Willard and Dibbs, they will have your pregame show. One of Evan Giddings or Mark Grandy will probably be on your postgame show for that one. And yeah, this is a fun one. Warriors win 125-112. And we'll catch you on the next one. Night, everybody.